Here is the truth that almost nobody feels comfortable saying out loud. When you cannot seem to stop thinking about a guy, something is already unfolding on his side too. And I do not mean this in some imaginary fairy tale kind of way. I am talking about real things, real energy, the genuine pull that exists between two people that nobody can fully define, yet every single person has felt at some point in their life. Now, before you assume I am just saying this to comfort you, pause right there, because what I am about to share is not about false hope or wishful thinking. It is about what is truly happening beneath the surface when someone refuses to leave your mind. And trust me on this, he is feeling it too, far more than you imagine. You know exactly what I am talking about. He appears in your mind while you are eating breakfast. You see something amusing and instantly think he would enjoy this. You hear a song, and there he is again, right back in your thoughts. You try to focus on work, on your friends, on literally anything else, but he keeps returning. And it frustrates you because you do not even want to think about him this much, but you still do. And here is what makes it even more confusing. You begin asking yourself, am I going crazy? Does he even think about me? Is he just out there living normally while I am here completely stuck on him? Let me be very clear about something. You are not losing your mind. You are not strange. And there is a very real chance that what you are feeling right now, he is feeling it too. Because when two people share something genuine, that feeling does not travel in only one direction. It simply cannot. That is not how it works. When someone completely takes over your thoughts, it is not random. It is not just you being emotional or overanalyzing everything. Something real is actually unfolding. And in this video, I am going to walk you through the 7 things that are already happening to him when he will not leave your thoughts. Not possibilities, not guesses, but things that are genuinely taking place with him right now. And by the time we reach the end, you are going to understand why you cannot stop thinking about him and what it truly means for both of you. So before you close this video or try to push those thoughts away again, just pause for a moment, take a breath. You did not land here by accident. Deep down, you already sense something is happening. You just need someone to explain it clearly. And that is exactly what we are going to do together right now. Stay with me because what you are about to understand is genuinely going to shift how you see this entire situation. So let us get into it. When you think about someone constantly, they feel it. I know that might sound unusual, but stay with me here. Every single time you think about him, you are sending out energy. And whether he is aware of it or not, he is picking up on that. Have you ever had someone suddenly appear in your thoughts and then they message you minutes later? Or you dream about someone you have not spoken to in months and then out of nowhere they reach out to you? That is not just luck or coincidence. That is energy. That is how people are wired. Even when they are not physically close to each other, when you are constantly thinking about him, worrying about him, wondering what he is doing, replaying things he said to you, your entire mind is focused on him. And when your mind locks onto someone with that level of intensity, it creates this invisible connection between the two of you, like a subtle thread pulling at him, even when he has no idea why. He might not sit there and consciously think, wow, she is thinking about me right now, but he senses something. He feels a pull. He feels drawn towards something he cannot fully explain. He might get this random urge to check his phone without any clear reason. He might suddenly find himself wondering what you are doing. He might feel this unexpected and completely random urge to reach out even though he has no specific reason to. That is your energy reaching him. And here is the fascinating part. The more you think about him, the stronger that pull becomes. It is like you are knocking on his door without even realizing it. And he hears it. He might not respond immediately. He might not even understand what he is feeling inside, but he hears it. Now, does that mean he is going to text you every single time you think about him? No, life does not work that perfectly. But it does mean he is sensing your presence. You are there with him even when you are apart. And that is not something small, that is real. Think of it this way. You know how sometimes you feel off and cannot explain why, or you suddenly feel happy without a clear reason? That is because you are picking up on energy around you. Energy from people, from thoughts, from the connections you carry with others. We all do this constantly. We just do not talk about it because it sounds too abstract. But it is happening all the time, every single day, whether we notice it or not. And when someone thinks about you as much as you are thinking about them, that energy becomes strong. It becomes difficult to completely ignore. He might try to brush it aside. He might try to distract himself with work or friends or whatever else is happening in his life. But somewhere deep inside, he feels you. He knows you are there even when you are not physically present. So when you tell yourself, I am probably the only one feeling this, you are mistaken. He is feeling it too, just in his own way and at his own pace. And that leads directly into the next thing that is happening. When you cannot get someone out of your head, they begin thinking about you more too. It is like your constant focus on him activates his thoughts about you. You are not alone in this at all. He is thinking about you far more than he was before, even if you have no idea. Maybe he is replaying things you said to him. Maybe he is scrolling through old messages or looking at past photos. Maybe he is remembering the last time he saw you. Maybe he is wondering what you are doing right now, who you are with, whether you are thinking about him too. Stay with me because this is where it becomes even more interesting. When someone occupies space in your mind the way he occupies space in yours, it works in both directions. Your thoughts do not simply disappear. They create movement. They influence things. And one of the things they influence is his thoughts. He starts thinking about you more, even when he does not intend to. He might be deep in work or out with friends or completely busy with life, but then you will appear in his mind. And when you do, he will pause for a moment, he will wonder, he will remember, and sometimes he will even smile without fully understanding why. This is not about magic or wishful thinking, it is about how genuine human connection actually functions. When there is something real between two people, thoughts move back and forth like waves across water. You think about him and it triggers something in him that makes him think about you. It is like a dynamic that neither of you consciously chose, but both of you are experiencing. And the more you think about him, the more his mind circles back to you. It is like your thoughts are quietly nudging his mind and saying, hey, remember her? Yes, you should be thinking about her right now. And he does, even when he is trying not to. Here is something else that is happening that most people do not consider. He will begin comparing other people to you. Not intentionally, but it happens anyway. When you are on someone's mind that much, you become the standard without even trying to. He might go out with someone else and think, she is nice, but she is not her. He could be chatting with a friend and suddenly recall something you said, only now it feels even sharper, funnier, or more unique than anything anyone else comes up with. You start becoming this presence in his mind that other people just cannot match because you are no longer only a memory. You turn into a feeling, something layered and alive that he keeps returning to again and again without even trying. And once you occupy that space inside someone's head, it becomes genuinely difficult for anyone else to replace you. So if you have been sitting there questioning whether he ever really thinks about you, the truth is yes, far more than you probably imagine. And not just quick passing thoughts either, but deeper ones, the kind where he pauses and actually sits with them, wondering about you in a way that lingers. And then something else begins to unfold. His mood starts to shift in ways he does not fully understand. This is the part most people completely overlook. When you are thinking about someone constantly and that energy keeps reaching them, it does not just disappear. It begins to influence how they feel. He might suddenly feel happy for no clear reason at all, or experience this odd restlessness, like something is missing but he cannot quite explain what it is. He may find himself more emotional than usual, more lost in his own thoughts, more distracted in ways he cannot logically explain to himself or anyone else around him. You know how your entire mood can change in an instant just by thinking about someone. Maybe you smile without realizing it. Maybe you feel a wave of sadness, maybe excitement or nervousness or even confusion. Whatever the feeling is, it shifts something real inside you. And the exact same thing is happening to him when your energy keeps reaching his mind. When thoughts of you keep appearing, his emotions begin to move. He might feel good 1 second and then feel a strange pull the next. He could feel focused for a moment and then completely stuck right after. But regardless of how it shows up, he is feeling something, and that feeling is directly tied to you. Most people do not realize how much our thoughts about others actually impact them. We assume our thoughts stay locked inside our own minds, contained and private, but they do not. They move. They land somewhere, they create ripples that extend further than we can see. And when someone is thinking about you as much as you are thinking about them, those ripples do not stay small. They grow into waves. So if he has been acting differently lately, if he seems distracted, distant, or more emotional than usual, there is a very real possibility that it is because you are on his mind more than ever. Your consistent thoughts about him are stirring something within him, and he is trying to figure out what exactly that is. He might go quiet at times, completely caught up in his own head, or suddenly become more talkative, trying to distract himself from what he is feeling. He might appear more sensitive than usual or seem mentally somewhere else, even when he is physically present with people. His friends could ask him what is going on, and he might not even have an answer because he does not fully understand it himself yet. All he knows is that something feels different and that something is you existing in his thoughts more than you ever did before. Then there is another layer to all of this. When you cannot stop thinking about someone, everything around you starts reminding you of them. A song, a location, a scent, a random joke, even something completely unrelated can suddenly make you think, he would love this. And the same exact process is happening to him. When you are constantly on his mind, his brain begins linking everything back to you. Things that never reminded him of you before suddenly do. It is like you are present everywhere, even when you are nowhere near him. He might hear a song you both listen to, and instantly you are there in his thoughts. He could see someone wearing something similar to what you wear and think of you immediately. He might taste something and remember a moment you shared. He might pass by a place you once visited together, and you appear in his mind without effort. His brain is now searching for you, not intentionally, but because you have been occupying his thoughts so heavily that everything starts getting categorized as something connected to you. And once that process begins, it becomes incredibly hard to stop. This is why people say they start noticing signs everywhere. It is not necessarily that something external is sending messages, but that both minds have become so focused on each other that everything turns into a reminder. Everything connects back. And when he keeps coming across things that remind him of you, it only makes him think about you even more. It becomes a cycle. You think about him, he feels it, he starts thinking about you, he encounters something that reminds him of you, and then his thoughts about you intensify even further. So if you feel like everything reminds you of him, trust that he is likely going through the same experience with you. He might be watching something and notice a character doing something that feels just like you. He might be out somewhere and walk past something you would love. He could hear a joke and immediately think about how you would laugh at it. You have become part of how he interprets the world around him now. And that does not just fade away quietly. Once someone becomes woven into the way you think, they stay there. They influence everything you see, everything you feel. And he is navigating that right now, all because of how present you have been in his thoughts. Now there is something even stronger happening beneath the surface. He feels a pull to reach out to you, but he does not know how to act on it. When someone occupies your mind constantly and that energy keeps reaching them, it creates this powerful urge to talk, to reconnect, to say something, anything at all. But here is where it gets complicated. Most of the time they have no idea how to actually do it. He might pick up his phone multiple times throughout the day, thinking about messaging you. He might even type something out, stare at it, and then delete every word. He could scroll through old conversations, searching for an excuse to start again. He might check your profile just to see what you have been doing recently, but then he hesitates. He overthinks everything. He gets stuck inside his own thoughts, questioning what he would even say, whether it would come across as strange, whether you would even want to hear from him, or what it would mean if you did not respond. So even though the urge to reach out is strong, he holds himself back. And that hesitation only makes him think about you even more, because now he is not just passively thinking about you anymore, he is actively trying to figure out how to connect with you again. That is why sometimes men reach out with something small or random, like a meme, a simple hello, or a question that does not really need an answer. It is not because that is all they have to say, but because they have been thinking about you and finally gathered just enough courage to break the silence in the simplest way possible. But if he has not reached out yet, it does not mean you are not on his mind. It might simply mean he is still caught in that space of overthinking, trying to find the right moment or the right words. And during all of that, you are still there in his thoughts constantly. He might even rehearse conversations in his head, imagining what he would say and how you would respond. He could be in the shower, driving, or lying awake, playing out different scenarios. I would say this, she would say that, and then I would respond like this. He goes through every possible version, wondering what would happen if it goes well, what if it does not, what if you have already moved on. All of these thoughts keep looping because you simply do not leave his mind. And the more he thinks about reaching out, the more present you become. It starts to feel like you are someone he deeply wants to talk to, but no longer knows how to approach. Or maybe he never fully knew how to express himself with you in the first place. Either way, the pull he feels towards you is very real. So if you are sitting there waiting for him to message you, understand that he has likely thought about doing it far more times than you could ever imagine. He may just be feeling unsure, confused, or completely caught up in his own head, but the pull is there and it is strong. You created it through all the thoughts you have been directing toward him, and he feels that pull in some form every single day. And while all of this is happening, something else begins to affect him as well. His energy becomes scattered, unfocused, almost all over the place. When you think about someone constantly, it consumes a huge amount of your mental energy. You might be at work, but still thinking about him. You might be with friends, yet your mind keeps drifting back. You try to focus on something else, anything else, but somehow he keeps slipping back into your thoughts. It becomes exhausting, and the same thing is happening to him. When your energy keeps reaching him, and he keeps thinking about you because of that connection, his focus starts to break apart. He is not as sharp as he usually is. He zones out more often. He forgets things he normally would remember. His mind keeps wandering off, and where it wanders is toward you. People around him might even begin to notice that something feels off. They might ask if he is okay, because he seems distracted or different, and he might not even know how to explain it. All he can feel is that something inside him has shifted, and that shift keeps pulling his thoughts right back to you again and again without stopping.